Hey guys, and welcome back to the second HellfireComms Disneython. Today we're going to be covering a really recent movie. So recent, in fact, that it came out in the same year as this marathon. It is, of course, Zootopia. And we've got a new co-commentator to help us out on this one. She's been a big help to us during our most recent charity marathon, the Nintendo-thon, and is also a good friend of ours. And her name is Mia. How are you doing tonight?
Good, good. Thanks for having me.
And in addition to Mia, we also have the ever-faithful ex-gamer Richie.
Hello.
So, let's get right on into it. Everything you guys will need to sync the movie up to our commentary can be found in the video description, so if you get a bit confused, check that sucker out. In the meantime, we're just going to get right on to it. In 3, 2, 1. Alrighty, Disney's Zootopia, also known as Zootropolis in some countries for one reason or another. This came out in February of 2016, and holy shit did it make a lot of money. I'm seeing here, like, it earned a worldwide gross of over 1 billion, making it the second highest grossing film of 2016 and the 24th highest grossing film of all time. Holy shit.
Yep, it did damn well, and rightly so, in my opinion, to be fair. It's a surprisingly excellent film.
I love this intro that they do before their movies, the Mickey Mouse one.
Yeah, the Steamboat Willie shiz. When did that start, actually? Because I remember it being like a more recent thing.
It is a more recent thing. I remember it being in like a pixelated form in Wreck-It Ralph.
Yeah, that's some good shit, yeah. Also, the people who made Wreck-It Ralph made Zootopia. This isn't a Pixar joint, and it just kind of continues the tradition of Disney's, like, CGI animation studio, putting the boot down on Pixar, because in recent years, their only good thing has kind of been Inside Out, to be honest.
Pretty much, yeah. And it's a shame because obviously Pixar was so on it, and then they've really lost touch, it seems. We'll see how their next few films go. But Disney is just hitting megatons out one after the other.
You know, a Disney movie's good when I like it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I forgot to mention, Mia is the flame brand of cynical, shall we say. This is the only Disneython commentary she'll be appearing in because it's got fluffy animals in it.
I wonder why.
Yeah, less said about that the better, really. But, Mia, why do you like Zootopia? What was it about the films, like animation or story or characters, etc., that drew you to it?
One, there's a fox in it, and I'm not joking, that is one of the things that drove me to it, and it just, basically I saw the trailer, it looked pretty cool, and I decided, hey, I might just give this a chance, go to the cinema, see it, and I loved it.
Good enough reasons.
I can never help but laugh when they play the cop music, like the typical 70s, 80s cop TV series music. I think it just goes to show that this film it's very on point with a lot of the small touches that it does. Like, its musical references, its puns. This is a film that is just inundated in puns. And it's wonderful.
This part of the movie is going to be really weird in, like, the Zootropolis versions, because, Zootropolis is a portmanteau of Zoo and Metropolis. And I think Zootopia just works better because it's the Zoo Utopia, which is the fucking point of Zootopia in the first place.
One thing I should bring up, actually, is that in the Zootropolis version, all of the dialogue is changed to reflect that.
It is indeed, yes.
It's completely localized. It's quite amazing they went through that much effort, but then again, Disney has that kind of money, so...
Yeah, and also they are the type of film producing company that do like to be at least consistent when it comes to those sorts of localization stuff. And considering they've got that weird thing that they do anyway, where they bring in a UK famous-ish person to do a sort of cameo role. They're obviously redubbing stuff anyway, so it's not that much of a pain to just do the line slightly differently when they're doing the main recording session.
Also, isn't, like, young Judy adorable?
Mm-hmm.
They're all adorable, really, but especially Judy when she's, like, young and, yeah.
Look at that hat. It's, like, too big for her head.
It's just so ridiculously cute. Typical childlike mispronunciations of things that are very easy to pronounce.
One thing I will say about this, like, about the first 10 or so minutes of this movie, it feels like something that could have been its own movie to begin with, but instead of, like, wasting time with that, they just sort of get on to an actual different plot, but, like, as in, like, the beginning of the movie is her, like, becoming, you know, a police officer, which almost seems like it could have been a whole movie in and of itself.
Yeah, like a prequel short or something.
Yeah. I mean, I suppose... because the thing is that the plot of this film actually went through a few very, very different iterations. Because initially, Judy wasn't going to be the main character. I mean, I think the original conception of the story was an international spy film centred on a rabbit named Jack Savage, who'd basically be a rabbit James Bond, as you do. But then over time, with the help of the Disney Story Trust, which is made up of the studio's top creative personnel, the film evolved into a police procedural film, in which a character that we are going to meet later was the main character, and Judy was the sidekick. And that went on until, I think, November 2014. But then I think they realised that actually the film's plot would be much more engaging if they made Judy the focus of the film.
I think it works better that way, to be honest.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
same.
I think because Judy's the underdog, obviously she's a rabbit, but you get the point.
Nice, blumtish.
Yeah, so you've got that side of things going for her. You've got the fact that she's very peppy and positive, and so she immediately comes across as pretty likeable, whereas the character that would have been the lead is very cynical, very dry, and while he's a really great character, and I think a lot of people really love him, for a broad audience, a dry, like very, very dry and sarcastic, cynical character is always more difficult to get behind as a protagonist than a peppy underdog.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh, there's a voice I recognise. I don't even have to look that up. It's J.K. Simmons.
Indeed it is.
And you know what? Like, yeah, I was watching the Zootopia for the first time, and all throughout the movie, I was like, who the fuck is that? Because J.K. Simmons has one of those voices where you'll know it's him, but not until the credits hit, and you can, like, confirm, like, what you were thinking throughout the entire movie.
I mean, they've got some huge actors in for this film. Because obviously they got J.K. Simmons in. They got, as a character we'll meet later on, they got Idris Elba, who's obviously huge. Potentially could have been, still might be James Bond at some point, although obviously somebody thinks he's a little bit too ghetto. Massive air quotation marks. That was ridiculous. Who else have they got?
Who voices Judy?
Judy is voiced by Jennifer Goodwin, who, if you just bear with me 1 second, so she is Snow White in Once Upon a Time.
Okay.
And she's also best known for her role as being Margene Heffman in the drama series Big Love.
Okay.
And I think she's done a few other film and TV roles, but those are probably the ones that we'd most likely recognise her from.
Mm-hmm. Now, I could, like, spend the entire movie gushing about the, like, animation, because it is gorgeous, but I want to give, like, a specific shout out to, like, the lighting of the film. I don't know, there's just something very, like, warm about it, and not just because it's, like, sunset and whatnot, it just makes... I guess this is the point when you get to Zootopia, like, it's meant to be all shiny on the surface, but underneath, ooh, there's stuff going on underneath.
Well, I mean, the thing is that I think in the process of working on this film, they made quite a few technological leaps, really. Because, I mean, the last time that they'd really animated fur for a titular character was Bolt. So, in the time, that software they used at the time wasn't ready for creating the realistic fur of the animals in Zootopia. So, the studio's IT engineers had to develop the fur controlling software iGroom to give the character designers very precise control over the brushing and shaping and shading of the fur so that you could have all the different designs. And obviously when Disney do their engines and all of their software to do this sort of thing, they just go above and beyond. I mean, if you think about, they did the hair for Tangled, which was ridiculously expensive. Yeah.
Oh, look at all these pun names here.
I know, the puns are phenomenal.
Oh, earworm alert.
Yes.
This song is
lovely
dope.
Little bit of Shakira.
Yep, this is Try Everything by Gazelle, who is voiced by the pop artist Shakira. Well, I don't know if she's pop, it's been a while since I've checked her genre, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I would say you're probably safest going with pop. But obviously, she's got influences from rock and roll, a bit of Latin American, a bit of Arabic, a bit of belly dancey sort of stuff. So she does cover quite a broad range of genres, but pop's pretty much, yeah.
You could say she tries everything.
Haha! Brilliant! You are hereby inducted into HellfireComms. I love Zootopia, like the movie itself, but also the city, and just the fact that like all these different sub-regions, the only one of which I don't think we go into like throughout the course of the movie's plot is like the sub-Saharan Africa bit, you know, the desert region. I don't think anything goes on there, but I wanted to ask you, Mia, what did you think of like the overall design of Zootopia?
Basically it's really nice looking. I think it doesn't make sense in terms of like realism unless they have like some really cool weather control system, which maybe they do. But yeah.
Come on, they've got a massive monorail that goes through the entire massive city, and as we will soon see, they've got all this technology to make everything specifically tailored to all the different animal types. I'm sure they can have some sort of biodome to make these quadrants work.
I want this fucking film in Kingdom Hearts 3. Are you looking at the shit? Look how good it looks.
Oh, Tom. Don't make me lust after that, please.
Well, we are getting San Francisco in Kingdom Hearts 3, so there's that.
Yes.
That was another city that looked really good too, to give that movie some credit.
I mean, really, Disney just do phenomenal cities, phenomenal everything, really.
Phenomenal art design, especially.
Yeah. I call it the Disney touch, really, because, like, I don't know, I hate to keep shitting on DreamWorks, but they do just do very run-of-the-mill talking animal features.
Yeah, I mean, there's something that I've noticed about quite a few animated films as of late, is that you can tell when they are pretty cheaply done. Like, it's not a major thing, but everything's just that little bit shinier than it should be. It's not grounded or detailed enough to show that they've spent quite a lot of money on it, which also follows through to the fact of quite a lot of animated films these days still aren't necessarily that well thought through. It's just like making a film for kids, therefore just dumb down the plot, nobody's going to give a damn.
Yeah. You can tell they actually put effort into this, which really pays off.
I mean, even though obviously quite a few of the changes were very last minute, but I think Disney have gotten used to very last minute changes in their films. Because obviously, Frozen, that is another film that I think had very last minute changes to its plot.
Indeed. Oh my god, Claw has. Do we have voice acting trivia for this guy, Richie?
So Clawhauser, initially I thought he was voiced by Josh Gad, who voices Olaf. They do sound quite similar, but no, he's voiced by Nate Torrance, who is most well known for playing the role of Wade Bailey on the HBO series Hello Ladies.
Okay.
As well as various other things. He's mostly done stuff on TV, but a lot of it's stuff that we really have experienced.
Now, Mia, I'm going to ask you a question here, just to see if you're on the ball and whatnot. We've seen certain themes throughout the movie so far. What are those themes?
Like kind of racism, but not really. Like kind of racism, I guess.
Yeah, prejudice, I think, would be the better
Prejudice,
word.
I guess, between the predators and prey.
Yeah, like, this is a world where predators and prey are united, they live together, no tiger is going to go after a little wee rabbit and whatnot. But, the prejudice still exists, like, Judy's mother and father, the father more so, I would say, still fears predators, and, has tried to push Judy down that particular path. This is a great pun, by the way.
Yeah.
It's so borderline cringeworthy, but it works at the same time. And, yeah, Judy, I guess she doesn't believe that, so she's just going to try and go out and make the world a better place without reinforcing these stereotypes.
Although that said, even then, she's still, it's ingrained sometimes. I mean, obviously, Judy either has done or will take the fox spray.
Yeah, she just did.
Yeah, she just did. So it's just like, even though she doesn't want to think that, there's a part of her deep in the back of her mind that just goes, I feel like the need to protect myself. So even though it's not active racism, it's passive racism in a way, which is part of what the film tries to tackle, and it does so in a very mature and intelligent manner, which is why the film got so heavily praised, because as with Pixar's Inside Out, it tackles a very difficult issue in a way that is not only accessible to kids, but also it's not been dumbed down at all. It deals with it seriously and sensitively, and the fact that it is then also accessible just means it's amazingly well done.
I agree for the most part. I will voice my criticisms towards the film's, plot overall when we get nearer to the end credits.
Yeah, I think I know what you mean.
Oh yeah, it's time for the traffic warden to go to work.
This is quite the realistic sort of portrayal of a new police officer. They do usually make him most of being a police officer isn't like in movies at all, where it's stopping murders and stuff. It's usually just boring stuff like waiting and doing tickets.
Yeah. Oh, it's my first day on the job and I took down an international crime ring. Go me. Oh, I just noticed back there, sorry, I wasn't on the ball enough to catch it when it was on screen, but the zebra crossing actually was a zebra crossing, it had the proper patterns, not just black and white stripes.
That's awesome. They barely have those anymore.
Oh, Judy, what do you like? Well, no one's exempt from the system. Oh, here we go. The other main character of the movie, Nick Wilde. Richie?
Uh-huh. He is voiced by Jason Bateman.
Uh-huh. Now, that's a name I recognise.
Oh, definitely. I mean, obviously, he's been in Horrible Bosses, he's been in Hancock, he's been in Arrested Development. Arrested Development is really the main thing that people would recognise him.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Michael Bluth,
yeah.
In Arrested Development. Obviously, that was one of the main roles. He initially started in Teen Wolf 2 as Todd Howard.
Okay.
But then obviously he's made a really decent career for himself. Been in lots of films, lots of TV. He was in episode of the Muppets, because obviously people recognise him now. He's a recognisable celebrity face.
Yeah, once you're recognisable, you go in the Muppets. It's just the way things are done. You know, it's like when you're semi-famous in the UK, you end up on Coronation Street at some point.
One thing I want to say is I love the ice cream textures.
Mm-hmm.
They're beautiful.
Oh yeah, just the ice cream shop in general. Because if you notice, everything's to scale. Like Judy and Nick aren't the same size, and the elephants are huge and what. Oh my god, that kid's so cute.
Yeah.
I know. You know what makes me even happier?
Mm-hmm.
Is he's a fennec fox.
I love them.
Which is a very specific type of fox, but they are so cute!
Oh, you just gave the game away, Richie. Jesus.
Oh, come on, he was very obviously a fox before he put on his elephant onesie.
I have to admit, though, I prefer the red fox in general, but fennecs are cute.
Yeah, this is a hygiene nightmare in here. What the fuck, Barry? I told you to fucking latex up that trunk.
Will they do that with trunk condoms? Jesus.
Oh, Mia. I probably in your defense, I probably shouldn't have used the word latex. It just gave you too much room to maneuver. Just give him the free cone and get out. Oh no. Oh, we're gonna have a crying child situation here. Nobody wants to be party to that.
I'd love to have a popsicle that size in relation to me.
It would be good in summer because you could just lie down on it like a bed.
Yeah, well, it'd probably melt, but still.
Potentially would not be good for you because could potentially do some damage.
Well, I'd be dead after having it, but it would be a good, fulfilling death.
Yeah.
Aww. So does she just keep those stickers on her just for kids?
Yeah.
Of course, because she is a real go-getter. Little bit of a try-hard, but...
Yeah, you should maybe, handing out tickets like nobody's business, being a bit overzealous, if you want my opinion. But she's still trying to do good and spread positivity throughout these dank suburbs.
I'm guessing this part of the movie where she's handing out tickets in that car, triggered Sonic Team.
I don't get it.
When they were developing City Escape, they modeled cars after the kind of car that Judy drives.
Huh.
So that they could destroy them.
Oh, okay.
Because they were getting tickets in San Francisco.
Okay, yeah. Makes sense. Oh, okay, just the fact that they're getting tickets on the car, alright.
Oh my god, I just love seeing the Fennec just drive the car.
Zuba. Legit scam going on here, I think.
Yeah, I mean, you have to applaud their ingenuity. The fact that, obviously, elephant popsicles melted down, so you've got to go to all these different bits of Zootopia to get this to actually work.
This is, speaking of triggering, this is triggering me, because lemmings do not do this! So it's great for business, so enforce that stereotype, I guess. Okay, so they're recycling the popsicle sticks to use for mini lumber. Oh, this is genius.
Honestly, I don't see how he's doing anything that's, considerably wrong.
Well.
I mean, it's a bit shady, but it's not, wrong. I mean, at least he's not, doing anything that hurts anyone. Apart from, getting the money off Judy. Also, this is hilarious.
That helps.
I also love how on the van they've got that typical rock
Yeah.
style of art. So you've got the very sexualized female, you've got the kind of butch hero. It's just like it's so on point. It's brilliant.
Well, they technically were. They're red and wood. Although, they were a bit sticky when they got to them, so, discount maybe. I'm not trying to be racist, but I wouldn't really feel comfortable walking behind a porcupine.
No, I mean it's one of those things where, like, if you're driving, you're behind like a van or a lorry or whatever that's got massive metal poles or anything spiky, you're suddenly just like, oh god, I've watched Final Destination.
I was exactly going to bring that up.
I've not watched Final Destination, but
You've watched the death montages, haven't
I've
you?
watched the death montage, so it's just like, yeah, no, don't feel comfortable here.
So, Judy's getting disillusioned pretty quickly into the film, but let's see how this goes.
This is the reason why I think they felt that Judy would be a much better protagonist in the end, because, as I said before, Nick's very cynical, and while he's brilliant and his sarcasm is just perfect, you need that bit of positivity coming into Zootopia, because you see it as a utopia, but then you actually very cleverly get to understand what utopia actually means. Because, I mean, this is going Greek here. But utopia, actually, if you break it down, it's built up of two words. So one which means not, and one which means place. So basically, a utopia is a not place. It is a place that doesn't exist. So while obviously we see it as somewhere that's perfect, by its very nature, and by its very name, it isn't real. So, you see this perfect Zootopia, but it's not a utopia, it's life.
Ugh, I wish I had bought that context-sensitive radio. Yum.
No, that's false advertising. It says
Yeah, why aren't they
carrots.
suing these people?
Also, I like how there's a carrot on her phone.
Oh, okay, I was actually going to ask what it is on the back of her phone.
Well, at least I'm assuming it's a carrot.
I think it
'cause
is.
Obviously, she's a rabbit, so everything has to be carroty.
Wow, Richie, I mean, you've just abandoned all the lessons this film has taught you so far. Stop stereotyping.
The thing is that the film kind of says these are stereotypes that exist. Some of them aren't necessarily wrong or bad. It's just how you use those stereotypes and whether they are productive. Some of them are, some of them certainly aren't.
I think a criticism that comes up in regards to Judy's family is, why do they give her so much, attention when they have a brood of about 50 or so? I mean, you can see from the picture alone there's at least, 15 plus, so why is it Judy who gets all the attention?
Maybe she doesn't. Maybe they just give all the others the same amount of, let's face it, that's what, a minute?
Yeah.
And also, to be fair, she looks to be the eldest in her family. So, generally the eldest does get quite a bit of attention.
True. I feel sorry for, the middle child, Jesus.
Ooh, the middle children, I think.
Oh shit.
Ah!
If no one else is going to say it, I will. Pop goes the weasel.
Technically, she took off her hat, so her uniform. So I think she can't technically arrest anyone if she's not wearing her hat. I think police officers need to be wearing their hat to arrest people.
Although, to be fair, it'd probably just fly off anyway. So, also, that guy's not wearing a hat, so I think she'll be fine. But yeah, I love this weasel.
Same.
Because one thing I didn't notice until the credits was that he's voiced by the Disney go-to man, Alan Tudyk, who is he's basically been in every Disney film since at least Frozen.
Yeah, he was the Duke of Weselton.
In Frozen, he was the Duke of Weselton.
Yeah.
In Wreck-It Ralph, he was King Candy. Oh god, now my brain's just going, he was, what's his face? He was the guy who, Alistair Cray, that's it, in Big Hero 6.
Okay.
And then he is going on to be the voice of Hey, the rooster in Moana. So basically he's sort of their Easter egg voice actor now, which I love because it's basically he's sort of a symbol of their awesome films.
Well, Pixar has John Ratzenberger, who has been taking, smaller and smaller roles, honestly, as Pixar has gone through the years. But Alan Tudyk, I think, is a little bit more versatile, and he has one of the best jokes or moments in the film later on, so keep an eye out for Duke.
Oh, definitely.
Not exactly by the books, but we'll allow it. Ha!
Chief Buggo.
That voice. Oh, look at Judy.
Aww.
I know. But I mean, to be fair, I think most people would be slightly intimidated by anyone voiced by Idris Elba.
Well, he was Heimdall in the 4 movies. He wasn't intimidating. He was majestic as fuck.
Well, yes, but he has also been Shere Khan in the most recent rendition of The Jungle Book.
We need to put that in Disneython 3, I think, because I still need to see it.
I still need to see it too. Apparently it was very, very good.
Mm-hmm.
And also he was Kral in Star Trek Beyond. So he's been quite a few villains in his time.
One thing that I like about Chief Buggo is he reminds me of someone I know in real life who's like a bouncer and has the same kind of British accent.
Oh, man.
Also, I love that they just did a Let It Go joke. It's just like, I heard it and I was just like, oh my god, you beautiful buggers.
Well, is that a slam against the song itself or just a reference?
I think it's just a reference.
I think it's a reference because they love it. I think they know that everyone got really ridiculously obsessed by the song,
That's
myself
what I'm talking
included.
about, yeah.
And it was played so much that people got ever so slightly sick of it. So obviously it sounds like a slam, but I think it's a wink, wink, nudge, nudge. We get what you're talking about, but we still love it, really.
There's another Frozen reference later in the film, so...
Yeah, that's related to what I was talking about earlier with Duke, and it is amazing. Oh, you're gonna get it now, Judy.
Oh, Jesus. Dawn Bellwether.
Uh-huh.
She's so adorable.
I know, and she is voiced by Jenny Slate, who is most well known for her role as Donna Stern in Obvious Child, as well as being the co-creator of Marcel the Shell with Shoes On short films and children's book series, as well as various other things. I mean, she was Zoe in Alvin and the Chipmunks Chipwrecked, Mrs. Wiggins in The Lorax. Let's see, is there anything else in here that looks interesting? Unfortunately, not really that I think anybody would recognise, but she has been on Saturday Night Live for 22 episodes.
Really? I'm on it this week, Jesus.
Dawn Bellwether reminds me, and she basically is an Isabel from Animal Crossing.
Yes.
Yeah, pretty much. Oh my god, can you imagine like an Animal Crossing film done with this art style and budget?
Oh my god, that would be amazing.
There actually is an Animal Crossing film, I believe.
Yeah. Do you mind? I'm trying to solve a case over here. Enjoying one of Nick's sweet treats.
What a lucky coincidence.
Mm-hmm.
It all goes back to the fox.
I've never noticed that before, but she's driving in definitely the wrong lane, because that little lane is for the small itty-bitty cars. And somebody had to overtake her and just like, bah, baby, get out the way.
Well, you know, she's got bureaucratic immunity over here.
That's a carrot pen, right?
It's a bit more than a pen, actually, as you'll see in a moment, and I don't think Nick should have divulged that information in front of a police officer, even if she is just sitting in a traffic warden post at the moment.
Well, it's because he just sees her as being a cute bunny.
True. Oh. Oh, here we go. Jesus.
Well, technically they couldn't really charge him for, like, before he was, like, an adult.
That's still more than I think he'll be able to rustle up in the amount of time it would take him to get it before he goes to jail.
Suppose. Oh shit.
She audacity, your ass.
Also, I have to say, I just love the way that Ginnifer Goodwin does this entire sequence. Like, it's just so well done.
Oh, sassy Judy is best Judy.
Yeah. It's just the ending with that. It's a hustle, sweetheart. Perfect.
Fennec is loving this shit. Yeah, have a sticker, dumbass. If anyone tries to come at me, I'll whack him with my many, many traffic cones. It's fine.
Just look at that lighting.
It's pretty great.
And the candles as well. And the hair. I mean, Disney have basically mastered hair and fur at this point, really.
You go to the animators' offices, they're floating above the ground, they're so powerful now, they actually can't be stopped. Oh, jeez! Ah, there's a voice I recognise. But Richie, why don't you tell people who it is anyway?
Give me a minute. Oh god.
It's the other half of Cheech and Chong.
Doesn't help me, Tom.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, there we go. Tommy Chong.
There you go.
You see, I'm trying to find all these different names. There's too many people in this cast.
Oh, Jesus, with the fucking glorious list of Hollywood A-listers and B-listers and C-listers and naked fucking wildebeest/yaks.
So yeah, obviously Tommy Chong is most well known for his marijuana-themed Cheech and Chong comedy albums and movies with Cheech Marin, as well as playing the character of Leo on Fox's That 70s Show.
Cheech Marin was the voice of Banzai, I believe, in The Lion King series. And I believe Chong was meant to be in that, but they couldn't get him, and I think in the end, like, the role of Ed or something went to Jim Cummings.
Ah.
I know this because earlier today I was editing the Disneython commentary of The Lion King. Oh, Jesus, that's a bit much.
Jesus.
Fun fact, Cheech Marin is also actually in Oliver and Company as Tito.
Yeah,
the
and
Chihuahua.
that's what Fennec keeps reminding me of, actually. It's probably just because he's white and small. Oh god, the stereotypes won't stop.
It's where it's difficult to avoid sometimes, although this scene is actually very, very good at breaking stereotypes. Because obviously elephants are supposed to be able to remember everything. This elephant, not so much. And then we have Yax the yak, who looks, well, he's basically a stoner.
Yeah.
Who looks like he really shouldn't be able to remember a thing, and yet he's actually got a phenomenal memory.
Should I address the elephant in the room here?
Go on.
They have no, how do I say it politely? Lower body parts.
Well,
So what's wrong with them being naked?
I don't know. I guess clothes as a concept further show your humanity, for a lack of a better word, and taking them
But
off.
they're not humans?
It's a fucking kids movie, Mia. Jesus.
Change humanity to animality, perhaps?
Oh, we're not playing Mortal Kombat here, mate. If it makes you feel better, Mia, the peni and the vaginas are kept in a pocket dimension.
Okay, like the Chaos Emeralds.
Oh, my mom is chuckling all day, every day.
Oh god, this is one of my favourite scenes.
This is one of the first bits I saw of Zootopia, and at the time I was actually a little bit iffy about whether the movie would turn out to be good, because I could not get a beat on what the movie was supposed to be about.
Yeah, I think it was one of those films where you just sort of like, I'm intrigued. This is quite funny, but it's just like I don't quite know how it fits into everything. But yeah, the sloths are amazing.
Yeah.
Yes.
I love the sloths. Also, totally playing into stereotypes with the sloths.
Basically, yeah, but it's hilarious, so it doesn't matter.
Well, it's like a double meaning, because, you know, not only is it a shot at the sloths, it's also a shot at the DMV in general.
I love how his name is Flash.
Yes.
You want it when?
Yeah.
So, Flash is voiced by Raymond S. Percy, who is, like, he's directed loads. So he's directed many Simpsons episodes, including Mobile Homer, The Girl Who Slept Too Little, The Monkey Suit, Little Big Girl, 24 Minutes, Low Springfieldian Style, and the Emmy Award-winning The Seemingly Never-Ending Story, as well as being the sequence director for the Simpsons movie.
Okay.
And he's also done, I think, quite a lot of storyboarding and artist work for Disney since Wreck-It Ralph.
Okay.
So he was a storyboard artist, as well as having a prominent voice acting role in the film as Gene, the leader of the Nicelanders.
Okay.
As well as voicing Zombie in, obviously, the villain support group. And then he's been a mainstay ever since, really.
Not to criticize him, but like the episodes of The Simpsons are kind of from after its prime.
Mm-hmm. I was like scanning through my mind, like the episodes I know the titles of off by heart, and wasn't ringing any bells.
No, they're all like from like 16 and onwards.
Oh, fuck you, Nick. Fuck you.
He's doing this on purpose, and it's just hilarious.
Yeah, the second everyone leaves the DMV and they go home for the night, like, hey, we're talking about now.
Of course. This is funny.
It's hilarious seeing his face light up like that.
I know! You can see the precise moment he gets the joke.
Oh, no,
Oh my
don't pass it on!
Oh my
Now, this
god.
is a really awesome little Easter egg. So, Priscilla here is voiced by Kristen Bell,
Ah, yes.
aka the voice of Princess Anna
There you go.
from Frozen.
It's a great little scene. Maybe it goes on a little bit too long, and I think especially it shouldn't have been like a friggin' trailer, because I think this was a trailer in and of itself at one point.
It was, yes.
Thunder Town is my jam. That's probably one of my favourite areas of the movie.
Yeah, it's cool.
Ah, yes.
Well, I didn't even mean to make a pun there, but
Oh my god. Oh, bless you, Sloths, bless you.
that's snow though.
You see, that's something that they mastered in Frozen,
Yep.
because they had to do
Like,
all
can you
that
imagine if
software
in
work.
Frozen, like, the snow texture and, like, ice texture was crap?
Just take the textures from SA1.
Shut up, Mia. Shut up, for the love of God.
Just even like the ice breath coming out, like it's just so much attention to detail.
Yeah, I knew we were going to gush about the movie's visuals, like, throughout the commentary, but honestly, it's one of the better looking animated films I've ever seen.
Basically.
So, you know what? Deal with it. How did... What?
She burrowed under, I think.
Wow, Judy's a manipulative bitch.
Well, of course.
A lovable, manipulative bitch, though.
Okay.
I mean, the thing is that when you're a bunny trying to make your way in a predator's world, you have to be slightly manipulative.
But I thought predators didn't exist anymore, Richie.
Racist. CDs still sell, I think. They still.
Well, they still sell vinyl for, like, audio files and whatnot, so...
I mean, to be fair, vinyl has been making a comeback as of late. Like, people
It has,
are really
yeah.
liking the vinyl, and quite a few CDs and albums have since been released on vinyl because people are just really loving that classic quality.
Feel sorry for the old cassette tapes though, because they seem to have like totally died out and have no like.
Yeah, they needed to die because they were awful quality, and they didn't have enough space on them.
Mhm.
But you could keep games on them.
Ah, yes.
True.
Not games you'd want to play, though, so enough about that. Oh, look behind you.
Oh shit!
Polar bears are fucking scary, mate.
Mm-hmm.
So why are we saving them again?
Yeah, let's just fucking drown them all. In fact, nuke the Arctic. Destroy the Antarctic.
Well, there's no polar bears in the Antarctic. That's just penguins, but.
Nice. Good job, Nick. Good job.
Also, I like how for that to have happened, someone had to have skinned a skunk in this universe.
Or maybe they just sold their fur because they didn't need it.
True, I mean, they might have cut it off. I mean, that's totally reasonable.
Or maybe they just have, like, like an organ donation service, but after they die, you get the fur.
Perhaps.
One thing I want to say about this scene is it's obviously being The Godfather, but and let's face it, like nearly every movie has done The Godfather at some point,
Uh-huh.
but this one does it like quite differently enough that I don't mind it just being a Godfather parody scene.
Yeah, I was very nearly tuning out of the movie during this section, but
Same.
it does just enough right in order to keep my attention. And Richie, I apologise, I don't need you for this one. The guy here is voiced by Maurice LaMarche.
Mm-hmm.
Who's that?
He's in Futurama.
Oh, okay.
And he's also the brain in Animaniacs.
Can't have religion in a Disney movie.
Oh, that flew under the radar the first time I watched it. Oh man. Wait, you might want to start running, Judy.
She's a little bit naive, isn't she?
I'm not even sure if it's that she's naive. Maybe it is, but like I think it's more that she's not like she knows what he could like do with his power, but he's just not scared.
Mm-hmm.
But I suppose that is naivety. So.
Oh, it's the girl from earlier.
Uh-huh. What a coincidence!
There are no coincidences in Zootopia, only fated meetings. Oh, that fucking, like, Jersey accent.
I know, it's painful, but it's hilarious. I think because you've had, like, it's been reasonably tense, the past scene, and then just all of a sudden you just have the spurt of comedy, and you just sort of, it just relaxes you, because you're just like, oh my god, this is ridiculous, but I love it.
What the fuck? The world's smallest latte. Oh wait, no, it's like a cake or something.
It's a cake. I like
It's a
how
cake.
he uses the fork.
Yeah, the fact that Otterton is a florist is a very key piece of information, so put that down in your friggin' Ace Attorney evidence file.
Mm-hmm. There's actually quite a few hints along the way as to the plot. Well, by plot, I mean the secret evil plot
The
that is
twist.
being hatched. The
Mhm.
twist. The evil plan of the evil mastermind that our police officer needs to solve, because obviously this is a police procedural film. It's basically trying to be a buddy cop film. So we have to have a secret organisation of some description trying to do something evil.
Yeah, and holy shit, you thought like the city looked good? Holy shit, like the jungle section. Oh my god, those
Yeah.
animators must have been working overtime.
Uh-huh. Well, I mean, this is something else that they, I think, worked on, because they used the tree and plant generator bonsai, which was first used in Frozen to make numerous variations of trees with very detailed foliage, so they did a lot of work on that.
Jump scares. You told me Halloween was over, Tom.
Oh, it's never over if you keep it in your heart. You might not think a otter can be savage. Oh, you see, stay away from feral ones. Yes, exactly.
Also, remember the term night howler. It's kind of very important.
Oh yeah. I remember like watching through the first time, trying to figure out exactly what a night howler is. Like, is it a person in the loosest sense of the word? Is it a living being? Is it something else? Who knows? Who knows?
We know though, but we're just not going to say it because we don't want to spoil.
Oh, I guess he got his eye back by going all feral mode. Oh man, this movie does action scenes really well.
Oh, definitely. And also, to answer Nick's question, he's gone turbo.
Yes.
He's jumping across board lines here. There's meant to be like a no predator and prey thing going on.
Well, yeah, but he's very clearly not well, he's not in his right mind at present.
Oh, he's camp his asses, but I love him.
It's perfect.
Oh shit.
I mean, I have to say, this is a very, very well done action sequence, because, like, so far everything's been pretty light-hearted and pretty simple and easy, but here, with the rain beating down, everything gets quite dark and very serious. And I think it's a tonal shift that the film desperately needed, because as you said, it was starting to stall ever so slightly. It was struggling to get anywhere. But once it gets to this point in the film, it suddenly starts to blow back up into being phenomenal.
Yeah, and another thought that crossed my mind, like, at this point in the movie was, it wasn't that I wasn't enjoying the movie, I just, like, started to notice that, oh, they were in city zone to begin with. Now they've gone to ice zone. Now it's jungle zone. And I get that Zootopia is like set up like that, but it's almost, if you want to be really cynical about it, like they created these different areas so they could just like very easily move from one unique area to another.
I suppose so.
Yeah, I get a lot of visual like variety throughout the film. How far in the future is Zootopia meant to be set exactly? Because there doesn't seem to be any evidence of humans.
I think it's more of an alternate universe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, you'll notice there's no, like, fish bopping about. I haven't really seen any birds, like, going hither and thither either, unless they live in different cities.
They may live other places.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that obviously Zootopia is pretty much entirely made up of mammals, largely because obviously they are easier to deal with in this sort of situation, otherwise you'd have to do something along the lines of Shark's Tale, and
oh Jesus,
we all know that's a bad idea.
The only good thing about that movie is the new version of Car Wash, and that's it.
Yes.
When are we doing the DreamWorks-thon?
Look, right, I didn't bring you on here to dish out crackpot ideas.
Although I think you'll find the answer is it'll happen eventually.
Of course it fucking will, Jesus. Now, Richard, you have trivia about Zootopia, right?
I have some, certainly.
Now, can you answer me this? Like, we've discussed how it's mostly mammals bopping about the sea. Wasn't it originally going to be, like, bigger than that, but they, like, streamlined it because they didn't want, like, the audience to get confused and whatever?
I'm not 100% sure about that fact, but I certainly remember that there was a time when there was a dinosaur film concept that was pushed somewhat forward. I can't remember whether it was Disney or whether it was Pixar. But there was something where they were going to do a film about what if dinosaurs hadn't died out and they were living in a city alongside humanity.
The Super Mario Brothers movie.
Yeah. So I remember that being a thing, but I can't remember exactly where from. But I do know that the idea for Zootopia specifically originated with Brian Howard, who directed the film, or was one of the co-directors for the film, wanted to do a film similar to Robin Hood. which obviously also featured anthropomorphic animals.
Uh-huh.
And so then obviously, with that in mind, the city was then envisioned as if animals had designed it rather than humans. And they wanted to kind of make it modern and just really cool. And apparently the concept of the whole thing was well received by Chief Creative Officer and Executive Producer John Lasseter, who lifted Howard in the air like a baby Simba when he proposed the idea for the film.
Can I just say, during this sequence, Nick is played by Kath Soucie, I think that's how you pronounce it, who's Sally Acorn, Fifi LaFume from Tiny Toons, and a whole load of other characters.
Yeah, a veteran furry voice actor.
Basically, yeah.
Also, Phil and Lil from the Rugrats.
Lola Bunny.
Very true, very true.
Also, Kanga from quite a few bits of Winnie the Pooh stuff in the noughties.
Yeah, it just keeps going. And here we see, we've seen the prejudice from the side of the prey. Now we're seeing it from the side of the predator, and that's good. That's another thing Zootopia does right, showing both sides.
Now, originally, obviously because Nick was going to be the main character, that whole thing was going to be much darker, actually.
Yeah.
Because there's a whole deleted scene or deleted sequence called Wilde Times, which featured this very important part of the plot, which was going to be these collars that the predators had to wear around their necks. So basically, any time that they got over emotional, it would zap them to kind of stop that so that they wouldn't go savage. But obviously, ultimately, they decided that was a little bit too dark and kind of defeated the general subtlety of what they were going for, because that's making the racism point just that little bit too obvious. As it has been, we've been dealing with people's prejudices against Judy, but now it's changed to focus on the predators. Because, as you may have noticed, otter, jaguar, that sort of thing.
That mouse back there looked a little bit like Remy from Ratatouille, by the way.
That wouldn't surprise me. But, yeah, so, I mean, with this Wild Time sequence, they were going to have this whole thing that Nick had built, which was going to be a massive amusement park for predators, where they could go and just let loose, so to speak, where they would remove these collars, and it was a big part of the film, and it was all based on this experience because Nick got beat up or whatever, and he had to go to the doctors, and so the doctor had to remove it for a moment.
Okay.
And in that moment, he just felt free. But then obviously that whole idea got ditched.
Yeah, it sounds I agree.
Cool.
Yeah, it does sound cool, but it also sounds a bit on the nose, and also like a cross between Equilibrium and Judge Dredd.
Yeah, and I think it's just that little bit too dark for a kids' film. Like, kids can deal with a lot of stuff, but I think that's the type of thing where it's just like, it's crossing a line that doesn't need to be crossed.
Yeah.
And I think they did the smart thing in going the route that they did.
Now, I do have two criticisms. I mentioned I had a criticism about the plots. I had tone, I guess, as a whole earlier, but I have two. I'll do the first one now, because the second one's related to the twist. I feel there's a happy medium in between what the final tone of the movie had, and, the whole, you gotta wear your collar, citizen, you're acting out of order. And I felt they could have gone a little bit further without, going over that line. But I do really like the final movie as a whole. I just feel there was room, maybe in a sequel possibly, to go a little bit further.
I suppose so, yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, that is the thing with hindsight.
Yeah.
When you're in the middle of creating a film, especially in the way that Disney seemed to, where things can change surprisingly last minute, you're very just inside of everything that's happening, and you can't always see the bigger picture of what would be the perfect solution to the film. Once it's then out and you can't do anything else to change it, that's when you start picking up the points of, well, that doesn't work quite so well as I would have liked it to. This bit could have used a little bit of tightening up. And you can do everything in your power to prevent those situations from arising, but when you are a creator, it's very difficult to see anything but the flaws in the work that you produce.
Yeah, I suppose.
So I'm sure they probably saw it as well once they released the film, but then it's the point where you just go, well, I've got to be happy with what I've created, and I think that on the whole, Disney should be very happy with what they created with Zootopia.
Very much so, yeah. Get a group howl going on here. What a bunch of dumb fucking dogs.
Wolves, Tom.
They're still
Wolves.
dogs. Canines.
They're wolves, that's why they're howling.
I don't care, dogs howl.
Well, that's true. Still.
Alright, we'll go down the shit tunnel. Good stuff.
It's always the way whenever you're sneaking into any sort of secret lair, secret lab, or whatever. You have to go in through the sewers. It's just the done thing.
Also, this place looks really creepy and really well designed.
Well, you know, if you're going to make a creepy place, it should be well designed to maximise the spooks. Also, the shorthand for this scene is crazy people are scary.
Yeah.
Although that's me being cynical, not so much the movie being too on the nose.
So I love how high-tech this particular area is, considering how grubby the other area was.
Dealing with, Oh, Jesus! Didn't realise we were fucking watching Until Dawn movie edition. Oh, goddamn cutscene compilation on YouTube.
We just need Flame here.
No, we don't, thank you very much.
Yeah. Love Flame a lot, but we don't need him in the Disneython because Flame hates Disney, so...
Yeah, so fuck him. He's not here, I can say what I like. Damn, man. Don't put your hand through the hole, you will not be getting it back. It's everyone who was reported missing at the start of the film.
There's evil afoot.
Ah, there are shenanigans abound.
Oh, twist.
The first of many.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, when I was watching it, like when I first saw at this point, the mayor really reminded me of Waternoose from the mayor from...
Yes.
I think he was the mayor, or no, the owner of Monsters, Inc., basically.
Yes, the CEO, so to speak.
Oh, the worst possible time. Not now, Mom, I'm trying to solve a mystery.
To be fair, she should have put her phone on silent. It's not hard. There's literally a switch on the side that does it on the iPhone.
Also, because, you know, you're going on a really secretive mission, also just put it on Do Not Disturb as well. Just, like, do every possible thing to stop it from going off.
I like how they're tasers, they're not guns, because a gun is a weapon of a man.
Also, I have to say, that toilet must have been bloody huge to fit both of them down it.
Now I know how Mario gets around.
Oh. I would love to live in a world of giant toilets. Boy, my dreams are boring.
Yeah, this is where we see another side to Chief Bogo.
Perhaps one we didn't need nor want to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're working real hard there, mate.
Oh, the timing on that one.
And usually you'd think this would be the end of the movie. We caught the culprit, or so it seems, and thus the credits must be rolling soon, right? Right?
No. We've got another 40 odd minutes of this.
It's just Nick and Judy getting married, though.
You wish.
I think most of the internet that fell in love with Zootopia very much wants Judy and Nick to be an item.
Oh.
Yeah.
There was lots and lots of fan art.
Let's
Yeah.
not go down that route.
Not going down that route, but a similar route that's not safe for work. When they were like promoting this film, I think they got people to send in pictures of their fursuits for whatever reason.
Jesus
Yeah.
Christ. Why?
I think there was
They knew about the fan base.
Uh-huh.
they got. I think it was one of their PR companies kind of did that as they thought, yeah, this is a great idea.
This won't backfire at all.
About that, I mean, to be fair, it's a reasonable thought. It's just that it's just quite a bit taboo.
And the undertones.
Yeah, it's also a little bit weird to be using that to promote this sort of film.
Yes, this family-friendly film, packed to the brim with prejudice and racism and class tiers and discrimination
And furry porn.
Yes, and very funny, yes.
Now, you know how we were saying about the whole name situation, how they changed it from Zootopia to Zootropolis in certain regions, including the UK.
Yeah.
I seem to recall hearing somewhere that part of that name change was because I think in certain areas the term Zootopia was actually used for some sort of furry site, so they didn't want to have that connotation in those regions.
Oh god.
I think that's the case. I'm not 100% sure.
Well, if you go on the Wikipedia page, right at the top, it says, for the zoo and safari park in Denmark, see Givskud Zoo. So maybe that had something to do with it?
Perhaps.
I love how the Chinese name for this movie is Crazy Animal City.
Well. Oh god, no flashbacks. This is where Judy's ingrained prejudices inherited from her family are bubbling to the top, and I don't think Nick's going to appreciate this.
No. And also, I mean, it's that whole thing of, to use a term that I know quite a lot of the internet doesn't like, at present anyway, is it's privilege. You don't necessarily understand it until you're confronted with the fact that you're actually in a privileged position.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's the whole point where the film shifts from its focus of prejudice to prey to prejudice against predators. And it's a very, very smooth twist, I think.
Oh shit. She probably didn't even realised she was carrying that at the time, because it just became instinct.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I love how tense this delivery is. Speaking of instinct, her hand goes right for the thing. Oh, not the sticker. Fucking journalists. Always twisting things. Oh, here's a thing.
CNN.
Yeah, CNN, the Zootopia News Network, I guess. The animals, one of the anchors is changed depending on what version you're watching. Like in China, I think it's like a panda and so on.
Yes, so in the American version, Peter Mansbridge voices Peter Moosebridge,
Okay.
and the moose is used in the standard version of the film released in the US, Italy, France, Canada, Russia, and Mexico. In the UK version, he was renamed to Moosus Alexander and is voiced by BBC sports reporter Vassos Alexander.
I kind of hate when they do that shit, but I tell you where it stands out the worst is in Shrek 2, and Jonathan Ross didn't need to be in that.
Yes, although I think they did a decent job in replacing Joan Rivers with... oh god, what is it?
I disagree, but let's move on.
Well, Kate, what's her name? You also had, in different other regions, you had a different animal. So, in Australia and New Zealand, you had David Campbell voicing a koala newscaster named
Nice.
David Koala Bell.
Okay.
The Brazilian version used a jaguar named Boi Cha that is voiced by Ricardo Bocha. The Japanese version uses a tanuki named Michael Tanuyama.
Thankfully, without the giant balls.
Yep, that's voiced by Kazuma Sakura. And then the Chinese version uses an unnamed giant panda that is also voiced by Peter Mansbridge, which is kind of a weird thing to tie back to, but that is how it rolls.
Oh, Clawhazard, you wouldn't hurt a fly.
Indeed, he would not.
Maybe a donut-shaped fly, but... Integrity, honesty, bravery, cowardice. Should have sold Nick out. Should have done it.
Mm-hmm.
That's unfair of me to say, because she was just doing her job, and you could see how she knew that she fucked up after Nick had said what he needed to say.
It's all sad and stuff.
Sometimes you just gotta let the silence flow, you know? It's not that I've run out of commentary for this talky scene. What are you talking about?
It is just, it's that moment of quiet reflection that's just very important. And also it's nice to see another side of Chief Bogo once again, because you see that deep down, even though he portrays the hard chief of police, he does actually have a heart beneath that.
Yeah.
And so he's just doing the best he can in the way that he thinks is best. And he realizes that that's flawed, but that's all he knows what to do, so he does what he can.
Nice to see Judy had the family business to fall back on.
This is a bit off topic of this scene, but did you know that they made like 800,000 forms of mammals for the movie?
Jesus.
It says that on Wikipedia.
Oh my god.
Like, Christ.
Here comes a character you probably might not have expected to come back later in the film.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting this.
I really do like that they do this, because it touches on another issue as well, and that's bullying, and how time really can change people.
Basically, yeah. The thing, though, is, like, how long was Judy gone for?
A while, I would say.
I suppose, but it just doesn't seem like she was gone for that while, but, like...
Well, it's been 15 years at the very least, so... Night Howlers?
The plot just dropped.
I'm having one of those late-in moments where everything comes together, you know, the room starts spinning around and whatnot.
And the cause must be you there.
No, not the pie. Ignore the pie.
But the pie looks yummy.
It must have been the one behind the savage attacks. Judy, you turned your badge in, so you don't have any authority going forward.
Yes, but she also doesn't have to follow any rules.
Ah, okay.
Well, I mean, she kind of does because she's enacting vigilante justice,
Yeah,
which is
that
kind
old
of a little bit illegal. But she can't be stopped by the police unless they catch her.
Now, she drove to Zootopia, where in, like, the start of the movie, she had to take a train just to get there, so how fast was she driving?
Very quickly, I suspect. But then also, if you think about it, sometimes you can get somewhere just as quickly driving as you can taking a train. It just... Sometimes you aren't able to drive somewhere, so you have to take the train. Sometimes you can't drive, so you take the train. So, I would say that's the logic.
I also like this callback to earlier in the movie when they mentioned living under a bridge.
Oh, at least he's listening. Oh, here come the tears.
Just makes me want to hug Judy. Luckily I have a plushie of her.
Oh, of course you do. Wait for it. He audacities your ass.
Oh, it's just so lovely and adorable. And,
It is.
Oh.
I love this bit. Aww.
I think like that scene just there is just another way of showing they really did get the relationship between Judy and Nick very right. Like, it's not necessarily sexual in nature. This is...
Oh my god, look at this
my God.
pig hero saying, Meowna, holy shit.
Yep, also, Flotsam 2 and Giraffic. Like, they're really going far ahead with those Disney references.
There you go, there's the callback to Frozen. That's brilliant. But Duke's name, the way it's written on the sign, is actually in the Walt Disney font.
Yeah.
Yes. But yeah, I have to say, like, the second that I realised that Duke Weaselton was voiced by Alan Tudyk, I was just like, oh my god, Disney, you corny ass perfect geniuses.
Also, whenever Judy gets reinstated, maybe she'll have to brush under the rug that she had mob assistance in solving a mystery, you know?
Yeah, you know what, I think she'd probably be fine, because, like, the mob would probably just pay it off. Like, just bribe someone.
Oh, you're just
Perfectly okay.
enabling further corruption in Zootopia, you know that?
It's already corrupt.
Oh, so it's not a utopia after all.
It never was.
One thing I want to say about this like area is I love abandoned subway stations just in general, and so seeing one in this movie is just amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Also, this is definitely referencing a popular television series
Oh, yeah.
to the point where they mentioned their names.
I was totally not expecting a Breaking Bad reference
Me
here.
neither.
Like, it was just like, I saw it and was like, oh my god, you beautiful buggers.
Blue meth.
Now, you'll notice that the male sheep in the movie, they don't have, like, cartoonish eyes like the other Zootopians do. They're, like, the real deal. It's only, like, Bellwether who has, like, quite a goo sort of eyeballs.
Well, that's because Bellwether's adorable, and she wouldn't look right if she had normal sheep eyes.
Oh, man, that's a almost realistic gun for a movie like this. Just in case you hadn't put it together yet, yes. This is what is causing all the, the predators and whatnot to go savage, to devolve. Yeah, there it is.
Oh my god.
It's just so heavily invested in pop culture, and the thing is that sadly it's going to mean that the film does date
Oh.
quite badly in the future, but it's just so perfect for now.
Although at the same time, Breaking Bad is like really popular.
Well, like, ignoring that, it's not even like a super-duper overt thing, because to people watching, it's just like two sheep called Walter and Jesse. It's
Yeah.
more of a nod to fans than like an overt reference, really.
Zootopia is arguably one of the most pop culture heavy Disney films of the most recent era. And generally when you get something that's quite pop culture heavy, they don't age well in terms of that pop culture humour, because certain things just fall out of the cultural recognition.
Yeah, I think Wreck-It Ralph will suffer in that regard, as much as I
It
love it.
will, yes. But then, in both instances, I would say that both are strong enough films that it doesn't matter when they are seen, they will still be excellent films. They're not struck down by the same flaws that many other things that are literally just filled with pop culture references.
Shark Tale.
Yeah, Shark Tale is a film.
Can we stop bringing up Shark Tale, please?
I don't think you like that movie, Tom.
The art style terrifies me.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Whoa, okay. Didn't realise we were going to get, like, on the top of the train sort of action scene in this movie, and I'm not really sure why the train needed, well, the one coming towards us, that train needed a rhino's horn on the front, but it's an aesthetic flourish I appreciate.
Well, I mean, come on, we needed to have everything sort of look like an animal.
I guess.
Also, I don't think this was their smartest decision ever.
I love how there's those flammable like things right next to them as there's a bunch of sparks.
Oh, good job we weren't in there.
Yeah, it's just,
Oh, definitely good that we weren't in there.
just to add an insult to injury.
Goodbye, evidence. Alright guys, we're approaching the climax now. Mia, when you were first watching the film, how did you feel at this point in time?
At this point, guess I was just wondering what was going to happen next, cause I didn't expect this upcoming bit here. Yeah, this was totally not expected. I was just expecting the movie to sort of just end or something.
Okay, I'm gonna let the twist play out before I comment on it, but if you've seen, certain other Disney, CGI movies, maybe not so much Pixar, you will probably be able to guess the twist of Zootopia or Zootropolis. And I'm gonna be honest, I knew the twist going in, it did not spoil my enjoyment of the film, but I have to comment on why the movie needed to do this. Because Bellwether is the cause of all the problems in the movie. She has been working with people to create some kind of toxin that causes predators to go savage and whatnot and cause mayhem and disorder.
She's basically a turbo.
I don't know why. I don't mind that the plot itself is fine. Creating stuff to make the predators, and things that are crazy. I don't see why they needed another, good character, or seemingly good character, to be revealed to be evil at the end. And I get it, no one suspects the meek little sheep, but maybe this one was a little bit too on the nose. I think King Candy did it best.
King Candy did do it better, yes.
I mean, so in its defense, I think it knows that it's being way too on the nose, because we already had the lion get caught. He was the corrupt official, and then we find out that Bellwether is also corrupt. So it's kind of just it's ludicrous, but it knows that it's ludicrous, and that sort of is what makes it work in a way, because the entirety of Zootopia is very aware of when it's playing to stereotype, playing to very standard tropes, and it's commenting on it at the same time as it's using it, and that doesn't always work out well. I mean, I'd say the whole thing with Bellwether is one of those. It's not a perfect usage of it.
You're struggling to actually defend this, I notice.
Yeah, it is one of those. It works, but it's very not perfect. What is perfect, however, is the way that this all wraps up.
Yeah, we won't spoil this. Mia, what was your thought on the twist as a whole?
When I saw it, I was just like, was this really necessary? Did they really need to make Bellwether a bad guy? Because, I just like her as a good guy, honestly, so much, and I don't like her as a bad guy.
Jesus Christ. Savage Nick is terrifying. Then again, foxes in general, they look cute. Don't go near one if you can help it. They will tear you apart, given a chance. Given a chance, this cow will eat you and everyone you cared about. And here comes the Chekhov's acting.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
This is great. Dun dun! Oh, really?
Ooh.
Say it to the carrot.
She got audacity'd.
This is basically a repeat of the end of Monsters, Inc.
Basically.
But I am totally okay with it because it's a hustle, darling. It's that Chekhov's gun effect, because you get the carrot pen dictaphone coming up numerous times, and then at the end it's just like boom, along with the whole start of the film coming back and just going boom. It's so satisfying.
Yeah, and I think Zootopia, as a concept, is so open-ended. This mystery can be solved and I feel like the concept is ripe for sequels. Like, if any Disney property was going to get a sequel, I feel Zootopia could do it the most naturally.
Oh, hell
I think what would be pretty cool would be an animated series or something where they just like go on like, smaller kind of missions or whatever.
I mean, it worked for Aladdin and Hercules and Little Mermaid.
So basically turn Zootopia into an animated version of The Bill.
Yeah, Jesus, there's a show I haven't heard of in a while.
Well, that's because it's finished.
Well, I was talking about the name. I knew it finished. I'm not stupid. Oh, they accept him. The rotund furry that he is.
Well, yeah, but that's because he's adorable and awesome.
Okay, guys, we're coming to the end of the movie here. Mia, as our guest, you get to speak first. What was your opinion of Zootopia as a whole?
I love it. It's fantastic. I love the animation. I love Nick. I love Judy. I love just everything about it. The art style, the animation, the characters, as I said. The voice acting is perfect. It's just brilliant, really. It's definitely one of my favorite Disney movies, but I'm not exactly a fan of the Big D in general, so...
Yeah, it's not so much a top 10 as it is like a top 2. Okay, Richie, what about you, mate?
Yeah, I have to say, I really love Zootopia. I think it's another phenomenal film in Disney's string of phenomenal films that they've been pushing out over the past few years.
They're CGI ones, yeah.
Yes, and like it's beautiful visually and all of that side of things, but also it deals with very important issues in a very accessible way, and that is something that I really, really appreciate because it gives the film depth. And I always like it when films have depth, when you wouldn't necessarily expect them to. And also, it is actually a really funny film.
Yes.
And I mean, we're going to get a joke coming up in a second, which it made me laugh so loud. Oh my god.
Yeah. I like everything Mia and Richie said. Fantastic animation, voice acting is on point. The story, I feel it works out very well. I don't feel like the character twist at the end was needed, but whatever, it's there, it works. I guess my problem is, I liked it, but I wanted more. So maybe sequels could scratch that itch and flesh out Zootopia as a whole a little bit more. But yeah, it's definitely like a 9 out of 10. Nothing is really 10 out of 10, so I may as well give it the next best thing, and we'll end it on the best note ever. Okay, guys, we shall see you tomorrow for another Disney Fun commentary. Bye for now.